So, after recently picking up the Rogue and Destiny 2-pack, I figured it was time that I finally got a Mystique. And this Mystique is the new one with the double-jointed elbows, but everything else I'm pretty sure is just the same from... No, wait, actually, hang on, these legs are pinless. But anyway, this head has been reused like 3 times, I think. One for the original release, one for the VHS animated series thing with like different hair, and then I think it was released one more time actually, and then we finally got to this version which has, you know, like I said, double jointed elbows. But the thing about this head sculpt is I don't particularly like it. Like, I mean, it's alright, I guess, but suddenly it's better. And by this, I don't mean some misogynistic jerk take that women should be quiet. I'm talking about, I don't like whatever expression they decided to pick. Why is her mouth open like this? And why is it painted in such a weird, uneven red? I think the red just couldn't get through the blue. So, I'm going to try to close her mouth up. And with that, we're going to use some milliput. And this is a procedure I've done a few times before. Sometimes it turns out really good, sometimes it doesn't, but with some paint, I think we can mask it well enough. So, have a little tiny piece here, put it over the lip, like so. You don't have to be too picky about how it lands. And then I realized that this hair piece is really annoying, but now we start to progressively remove more and more of this clay, and I wish it could stick on a little bit better. And the thing is, you want it to lay like... You see here, it's a little bit too much of a straight line. So we're going to have to plump up the lips a little bit, which is the hardest part about it, because you want it to look natural. I also found that if you have milliput, and you open it, don't keep it in the little plastic paper box. Find some airtight containers and put them in. Usually milliput kind of dries up on its own if you do it the way it's marketed. So I gave up and got some ice cream tubs, and I just have both components in its own tub. And this is the best clay I've ever had, essentially. I really need to get myself some new sculpting tools, actually. I got these metal ones, but I'm not really sure I like them. But then again, I guess I'm not too proficient with them yet either, because I'm so used to like my silicone tips. I wanted to have like a kind of malicious looking smile, and I think in order to fool the eye a little bit more, I'm gonna have to remove some of the red down here as well. And naturally I can't find my typical sculpting tools, so I have to use these kind of bigger ones. This is my first time using these, and we'll see how they work out. Okay, you see how there's like a little indent here now? I keep working off of that. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of visual tricks here to make these lips appear sharper than they actually are. I think what would also help quite a lot is if these lips are brighter. It's gonna help a lot with how they look, because I just really don't like this really dark red that the lips originally have. So if I was actually good at sculpting, this would probably be done in like one session. However, I am not good at sculpting, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for this to dry and kind of use that as a checkpoint, and then I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit and then continue afterwards. So we got to here. I feel like this could be a decent start. Yeah, I'm gonna save it here, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more to the upper lip probably when this dries. Okay, so the clay isn't completely dry yet, but I am so impatient, and I just kind of want to see if what I'm doing has any sort of merit at all. So I'm just gonna paint in red for the lips and kind of see, like, is this manageable? Will this look all right? And also to balance everything out, because obviously these lips are way too thick, so putting some blue like here, making them smaller, changing the shape a little bit. And naturally, I'm gonna remove this when, you know, I get further into it. So, for starters, the bottom lip is too big. It needs to... like, it's too plump. How do I save this? Because this doesn't look that good. Actually, I think it's just that the lips are too wide. So if we remove clay like here. So the issue is that the lips are so high up in comparison to like where the chin is. Maybe if what if I remove like part of the... that doesn't really look that good either. Maybe if I extend the upper lip down instead of moving the bottom lip up. I don't know, is there another Mystique head that would work on this scale? I know there was one where she's wearing like a black outfit, but that was like an old Hasbro, so I don't think that's gonna look good at all. So I ended up cutting off a bunch of plastic here. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, there was some of the bottom lip here I ended up cutting off with a knife, and then I just tried to sand it as smooth here as I could. So we got to here, and I'm not really sure what it looks like because of the like the miscolored lips. So I'm thinking I'm gonna paint everything white, and then we're gonna paint some red on top of that and see where we are. And maybe we don't even have to sculpt anymore. We can just cheat with some blue. And the reason why we're doing white right now is because I want the red to be as vibrant as possible. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like this original paint job, because the red just looks really weak. Okay, now I might need a smaller brush. The trickiest part is like this part in here, because I'm probably gonna have to go in with some blue here to try to thin out the lip. Okay, so after painting everything white, I noticed some irregularities in the sculpt. So this is the second pass, and this is gonna be a lot thinner. This is basically just gonna smooth out a lot of the lips, and even this is too much. So split it along the middle. We roll it as thin as we can. We place it on the lip like so. Hope it's gonna stick. Okay, so a new pass, and I've redefined the lips a little bit, and gonna paint them white. And again, like I said earlier, painting the lips white kind of just helps with making the red more like striking, because if I have a dark base, then the red will just kind of be a bit dark. Okay, so moment of truth, I guess. See how nice and striking this red is now? So the hard part about sculpting lips is always the very, like, here, because it's hard to know like how the lips sink into the skin for a smile. I always struggle with. Okay, so moment of truth. I have gotten the lips to like here, and I am not really sure what this is gonna look like after I paint it, but I am kind of optimistic about it. I'm also kind of terrified, so let's just get this over with and get it painted. So it's Sunday today, and I've actually been working all day, but I've low-key been really anxious about this all day, because I really want this to just turn out nice, you know, but doubt and just general anxiety, which is a very recurring thing. I don't know if any of you guys actually get anxious when you guys customize, or if this is solely a method of relaxation, but I get pretty anxious because I just want things to be like good and work out. And when it doesn't, I like to throw my entire sense of self-worth into it, and yeah, it's just kind of depressing. So this blue here isn't a perfect match, so I'm probably gonna have to finagle a little bit with some mixes of blues, but this will at least let me know kind of where I am. And here Mystique is completed, and I don't think there's too much more I can do with her. It's an alright sculpt job on the lips, but it definitely could have been better. She did get the expression I was setting out to do, like a little evil smirk, but there's just some like logistics with the sculpting, like especially how like the corners kind of fuse to the skin, and it's not 100% natural, but I think it's good enough. I'm also kind of tired of working on this, so yeah, Mystique. I am happy to have her, and I think as time goes by and my overly self-critical hatred for everything I do kind of dissolves a little bit with time, I will learn to be quite happy with how this turned out. So yeah, Mystique with a closed mouth, which is what you should have had from the beginning, because reusing that same head sculpt like 4 times was kind of excessive. So hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
I'm here. Now tell me, Destiny, what is so important?
I've come to warn you, Mystique. I've had disturbing visions about Rogue.